Could you disprove, for example, that
Okay, I'm recording.
Synthetic humans to save themselves?
Okay, hey everyone, it's your girl, Faith Mulosmanaj. I'm a future filmmaker and a TV and film student at Howard University. And we have a very special guest today. Okay, when me and Casey, when we started developing this podcast, honestly, you were one of the first people I thought about.
Oh my God.
Yes, because so we went to the same school, we went to the same high school, but we didn't really, I don't think, we didn't ever connect in high school.
No.
We never crossed paths. But I remember seeing your, you had like a DJ mix on TikTok.
Damn bitches be going outside. She a baddie, she showing her panties. She shaking like jelly. 100 pairs of Chanel, but I'm still shaking ass in a deli.
And I was like, this is so cool. I don't know why I love female DJs. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I want to talk to her.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's just start off. Let's talk about how you became a DJ. Like, how did you get into it?
Okay, so DJing was always something that like I talked about. Like I would be at parties with my friends and be like, "Ooh, I want to be the DJ." Or like in high school, I would like say little things like, "Ooh, I could be a DJ in college," but it was never something that like I thought I would actually be able to do. And then I got here and I was like, wait, maybe I can do DJing. Because I remember sophomore year, the beginning of sophomore year, I tried to get involved in the radio station. And the position they had was for DJs. And I applied, but because I thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, they teach you how to DJ. But they're like, no, you have to know how to DJ to like do this. So after that semester, I went home for winter break and I bought a board and I literally practiced for hours every single day while I was home at break. And I came back, and when I came back to campus, I didn't really have in my mind that like, oh, I was gonna do a gig anytime soon. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is something that I could do eventually down the line. But then my friend, she was having a birthday party in February that she was already planning. She was like, oh, why don't you open? I was like, oh, okay. So then I opened that party and then it kind of just went from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you are a health science major?
Yeah.
So how does that, do you just like always had this like creativity in you that you kind of wanted to get out?
Yeah, like, I don't know, I love music. I know everyone loves music. But I grew up around music like my whole life. My dad was involved in like the music world, so it's always been like drilled in my head, the history of hip hop, this and that. You need to know all types of music. So I think this side of what I do was kind of following my father's footsteps, and then my mother is in the medical field, so like my major is my mother's footsteps. So
Oh, that's deep. Wait, what does your dad do?
So my dad, he's not as much into music as he was before, but when he was younger, like I want to say I don't really know how old he was, but he was a DJ. And then he moved into interning at a record company, and then he became an A&R. And you know, he still talks about it, schools me on it, so it's just always been around.
So do you feel like there's these like two forces? Do you feel like you have to pick like STEM or like the creative route being a DJ?
Not at all. I mean, it's kind of like it's hard to juggle both, but I envision a life where I can do both. Unless DJing just like takes off.
You know what's crazy is like DJs are the most multi-hyphenate people.
Really?
Like, I don't know, do you know Vashti? Vashti Kola?
No.
So first, Vashti is one of the top like female DJs. Can I say that? She's a big DJ in New York City. Well, she started in New York City. She's the first woman to have like a Jordan sneaker.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, she's a director. She's so much stuff. Yeah, you should look up Vashti. I love Vashti.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I think everyone everyone gets in a car and like they get on aux and they think that they could be a DJ. Like maybe you could be. I don't want to I don't want to put people down. I definitely think, you know, I wanted to be a DJ at some point, but I'm kind of
I mean, that's how I thought before I
think I'm just an aux warrior.
It's like, I was like, oh, I just love to be on aux, so I might as well just try. But
oh wait, I should tell you so if I was a DJ, I would go by my name would be DJ Bigfoot.
Why?
because my foot is like abnormally large.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Looks like your feet.
So I'm only like 5. I'm gonna say I'm 5'6" on record because I always like I have to lie about my Casey. Bring the camera up. Thank you. I always lie about my height on camera, but that's my height. But I have a size 11 foot, which is like insane. So I was like,
and
you know
women's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would be my name. But what do people not? So like we were saying, I think everyone gets on aux and they think they could just be a DJ. Like, but it's harder than that. Like, what's the technical aspect of it that people don't get?
I think something that I have struggled with before is reading different crowds. You know, it's one thing to play for a college crowd because you go to these parties, you know what plays in these parties. But what if one day you have to do a middle school dance, or you have to DJ for a corporate event, or do, you know, a little brunch at a restaurant? Like, you really have to know all different types of music, or like you might have a different culture that is primarily at the event that you're DJing. Like, you really have to be familiar with everything. And I feel like that's why the job of DJing is never done, because I always have to download new music. I always have to keep up with what's popular, what's not. So
how do you read a crowd? Like, how do you know that the crowd is feeling what you're playing, or do you like come in a room and you're just looking at them and you're like, okay, I think I know what?
So I'm gonna explain how I do it at parties. I cater to the girls first, because I feel like they are the party, you know. You could play music for the guys, you know, the hard trap music, but at the end of the day, like, the girls are the ones that are going to be dancing and singing. And, you know, the genre of music that you're playing that gets the most reaction, that's the direction you want to go in. So if you're playing, like, let's say Jersey Club, or you're playing like dance music, or, you know, stuff that you could twerk to, or like different stuff like that, you know, you want to keep on going in that direction to keep the crowd up. But at the same time, you want to there's levels, because obviously you're not going to play hype song after hype song after hype song after hype song the whole party. You have to like space it out, if that makes sense.
I was listening to your mix on SoundCloud, the Are You Dreaming right now?
Yeah.
I was like, I would love to hear that mix in like in a party.
Really?
You played, what was it? I loved you when you put what's the Drake and J. Cole song?
Oh,
in the morning. I was like, okay, like I'm sold. Like, I love that song.
Yeah.
And it went in so perfectly. Like I don't get how you guys do the transitions. That blows my mind.
I think once you see the software, it kind of like, you use your knowledge of what sounds good together, but like, you see like the different speeds of the songs, like the BPMs, and you're like, wait, like that would go together really nicely with this, or like, you know, a certain key might go better together. But that mix was actually, I usually DJ and I cater to the crowd, but that mix was catered more to me. Like, that was like my personal music taste. So like, to hear that you like that was like, I love that so much.
So wait, so what you were just saying, so when you think about transitions, you're actually looking at like, there's a, how do I?
Per minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's like the speed of the song. So like.
And you can look at that like visually?
Yeah. So, my dad's gonna kill me for this. Basically, he tells me not to like DJ based on like what songs are the same speed. Like, you have to DJ based off the knowledge of, you know, what you know sounds good together, which is completely 100% true. But let's say I have a folder full of like rap songs or like female city girl type rap. And I see 2 songs and they're both like 83 beats per minute. You want to match those to be the same speed, and that's how you're gonna be able to mix them into each other. But then it's also like you have to watch out for the drums, the pattern of drums in each song, because even if 2 songs are like the same speed, the drums can kind of clash. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, this is insane, actually. 'Cause I think people just think that you guys go up there. You know what? It's probably annoying when you guys get requests.
Yeah.
It throws you off, right?
It's so no. I mean, okay. The only time I appreciate requests is when I'm doing an event like a Sweet 16, because you would be surprised these 16-year-olds are listening to the same exact songs we are listening to. So, you know, I try to play it safe. And then when I see one of them like come up to me and they're like, girl, you could play, you know, that new song that just dropped, you know. Some 16-year-old at the last Sweet 16 I did, they requested KP Skywalker. I don't know if you know who that is, the DMV rapper. I was like, you guys want to hear this? I had to ask the parents. I was like, there is no clean version to this. So are you giving me the green light right now? So that's the only time I really like, you know, I like requests. But in terms of parties, if you're requesting like a specific type of music, like, oh, can you play Caribbean? Can you play Afro beats? That's fine or whatever. But if I'm playing like a hype song and you're requesting something completely different, like a slow song, how am I going to put that in right now? It's just kind of like, so you just kind of look at them and you're like, oh, I don't have that song.
Right.
Or I got you, but...
Right.
Yeah.
Just never get back to you.
Yeah.
What's a typical night DJing like?
I do get anxious before a lot of my gigs because I have had, you know, horror stories, you know, equipment has gone out, you know.
What's your worst like DJing moment?
I hear like my stomach rumbling, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I think I have 2 really bad ones. So I have a couple, but it's 2 that like really stick out. So my most recent one, this actually happened like a month ago or so. I did a house party on campus, and I did not think that there was going to be a lot of people at this party because it was snowing outside. It was a snowstorm. So, you know, I got to this party, but obviously I'm still like prepared to like do a regular party set, you know, like.
Right. They always come out.
Yeah, like they always come out. So
nothing will stop them.
I'm setting up and I'm playing the music, and you know, my computer's glitching a little bit, but I'm just like, okay, like my computer's slow because I use it for school and DJing, so it's like it's music, documents, everything on it.
Yeah.
So I just turned it off and then I turned it back on again, and then I get the music playing again. So as you know, on a DJ board, there's 2 decks, and you use these 2 decks to like mix the songs into one another. My whole right deck like completely went out, like no music coming out of it.
Explain that.
So basically, you put a song on this deck,
and it's digital. It's not physical anymore.
It's a controller.
Okay.
Like, and so let's say you see the 2 wheels, right?
Yeah.
So you have a song on this deck. If you want to transition into the next song, how I do it, you put it on this deck, and then you like, you know, transition it however you want, but you move it onto the next deck to transition this 2 songs.
Okay,
together.
yeah.
So this whole side of my DJ board was not playing music, like just not playing music. So this took away my ability to mix the songs. So when it came time for the next song to start, it was just an abrupt stop.
Yeah.
And you put the next song. The whole gig, I was standing there like, I wanted to cry. Like,
oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
I never wanted to be the DJ that just does not transition during a party. Like, that's so, you know, crazy to me. So,
but do you think they're picking up on it, the crowd?
So that's the thing. There was actually a couple of people that came up to me and they're like, "Are you okay?" Because I looked pissed. Like, I'm sorry, I can't hide my facial expressions. So this one girl, she was so sweet. She came up to me. She was like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, is everything, good?" I was like, "No, my board broke. Like, it's not really working right now." And like every person I told, they were like, "Really?" Like,
Oh, they can tell.
Yeah, because it's like they just want to hear the music. Like,
yeah. Like they're drunk out of their mind.
They're drunk.
They're not paying attention.
I have to tell myself sometimes, like, yes, people pay attention to transitions, but at the end of the day, not everyone is listening to it like a DJ would listen to it.
Yeah.
So like, what may sound crazy to me may sound like fine to someone else, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's why some people may have not been picking up on it. There was one transition that I did that like, it glitched and I felt a couple looks. I was like, yeah, that was me. Like it was bad because it was just my board just was not working. And I had a gig the next day and I went to Guitar Center the next morning and bought a new board before.
So the board was broken.
The board was broken.
Oh God.
And I'm still waiting for the insurance to pay me back for the new board. But yeah, so that was the worst one, I would say. And then the second worst one was my first time using CDJs, which is like more professional equipment. And something that I didn't think about when I first started DJing is like you learn on this controller, but you're gonna have to DJ on other types of equipment. And like prior to that gig was it was a Thirsty Thursday all the way back in like October, November, something like that.
Where was it?
Or September. It was at Cloak and Dagger.
Okay.
And, it was fine, but it was just a couple transitions where I was kind of intimidated, thrown off by the board. Like, I think, like, it's wider because it's 3 separate parts of the board. So it was one transition, and I, like, moved my arm, and I literally swiped it like against the wheel and it like reversed the song mid transition. Yeah. It was bad. So that's why like even when I'm out and like I may hear transition that it's like, oh, that sounded a little crazy, it happens. Like when you're a DJ, of course you want to avoid it as much as possible and like hope that it doesn't happen, but there are times where there's going to be a technical difficulty or something happens and you have to be able to like bite through your pride and just move past it. Like, because trust me, I was literally that day, I was like, oh my gosh, are they talking about it on Fizz? Like, oh my, I don't know. I was so scared because they be mean on Fizz. Like, I was so scared, but no one cares about it as much as you do. So.
That's like the best advice anyone could take, because I know even in my profession, when I make a mistake, even like the battery dying, that's probably gonna keep me up at night. But it's small, but you wanna get as close to like perfection in whatever you do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it helps you for next time to be better, because you know you have to make mistakes. But like the best advice is no one thinks about you and what you do and the mistakes you make as much as you think. People, and that's like across the board. Nobody thinks about you as much. No one's as harsh on you as yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
So you talked about Battle of the DJs. How was that?
It was great.
So we should have to say, so you won. So the Washington Wizards did, or you can explain it actually.
Yeah, so basically the Washington Wizards, they do a HBCU Battle of the DJs, and they take HBCU, I just tripped up. They take different DJs from different HBCUs, and basically what we had to do was we like made, it was like a 5-minute mix. And they pick a final 4, and then those final 4 compete in the Battle of the DJs. I don't know how exactly they do pick the final 4 though. I'm kind of unclear about that part. But I remember making my video, and just like those TikTok mixes, I used to spend so long on those, just like picking the song, the like songs that go together, but the songs that I think would like go great in that mix, like if that makes sense. Like the most, I don't know how to put it, like
that it fits like the vibe, the overall vibe.
Like you don't want to do just like a regular mix. You want to do something with like, you know, more energetic songs. So I remember I was literally doing that mix all day, just overthinking what songs I was going to put in it. When I finally got the mix, just taking the video over and over and over because I wanted to do it perfectly. And I finally submitted the mix, and, you know, seeing all the DJs on like the email chain on the email, I did not think I was going to make it to the final four because it was just like so many different DJs from like different schools. So I literally sent it in and I forgot about it. Like, and they never emailed me again about it, like leading up to it. So I literally forgot about it. I was like, oh, they're probably not doing it anymore. Like, you know? And it was one Thirsty Thursday. I was doing a collective party. And I was getting ready for that gig. And I was already nervous for that gig because that was going to be my first gig using CDJs again since that last horror story I had. And I get this email on my phone out. It's like, oh, me and like the 3 other DJs. They're like, okay, like the battle is on Sunday. They said this on Thursday. They're like, oh, the battle's on Sunday. Yeah. And
Wow.
I was like, what?
So that's you found out that you were in the bottom 3?
That's when I found out that I was in like the final 4 DJs. And when I look at old emails, it did say like the battle was always going to be on that day, but I was never thinking about it because I just never heard anything back from them. So when I saw that, my heart dropped. Like I was like, I'm already nervous for this gig. Now I got to think about this. Like it's just crazy. So after I got home from that gig, that whole weekend, I was just working on like what I was going to play for that battle like the live battle that we had. So we had the live battle, and I remember getting there, and I still have my beginner board from when I first started DJing, my $200-something board. I get there, and like these guys are pulling out like big professional boards, like nice boards, and I'm like getting so intimidated. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And
it's like David and Goliath.
Yeah,
like you had your little rock.
Yeah, like I was just like so scared. And someone that was actually there, like they could see it on my face. They're just like, calm down, like you're over. Because
but also from the outside, we don't know what your how much your equipment is, or how like, his is better than yours.
Yeah, no one else knows. But it's just like, you know, it was a dumb way to think, like because equipment doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, a good DJ, the best DJ can have like the cheapest board, and you could have like a DJ that's not as good as that DJ that can have a bigger board. But I didn't think that about them because I walked in and they were practicing. One guy was scratching and doing all these tricks, and I was like, wow, like they sound so good, and they were really good DJs. So I was just getting in my head. But I ended up going, and, you know, I had my 2 friends there to support me. And after I finished, I remember just, like, being happy that I did it because I was scared to do a live battle. I was just like, okay, regardless of what happens, like, I'm so happy that I pushed myself to do this. And then we had the TV interview the next day, and voting was open for I think like the next 2 days, and I think we found out on either Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. I forget.
I feel like Howard really showed up.
Yeah,
right?
Like literally the love was crazy. I was just like, wow. And like I got a call that like she was like, you know, I was looking at the votes, and you know, the way she was talking, I didn't think I was going to win. But then she was like, oh, you won. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I could not believe it. That feeling was incredible. Like, it was just like.
I feel like because you maybe started a year ago DJing, right? I feel like your ascension since then is like, it probably gives you a lot of faith, right?
It does give me a lot of faith because before like this whole thing happened, like I was getting very discouraged because, you know, I have a lot of growing to do as a DJ in terms of like, you know, being able to play in front of different crowds and like my technique and stuff like that, which, you know, every DJ, they grow every day. But, you know, I was starting to get discouraged because of the anxiety that I would get before gigs. Like, okay, is this really something for me if I'm getting so nervous and anxious before every gig I have to do? Like, you know. But I don't know, after that whole thing happened, it was kind of like, wait, maybe,
yeah,
you know,
there's like something to this.
Yeah, maybe I should stick around a little.
Yeah.
Longer, like, see where this goes.
The hardest thing of doing anything is just starting.
Yeah.
And then once you like get in the pool, it's just...
Yeah. You never grow inside your comfort zone. And
right.
I think that contributes to my love for DJing because this whole time I have never been in my comfort zone. Like, I'm naturally a extremely shy person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been gigs where like I got up there and I'm literally like shaking like at the beginning of my set, but it's literally pushed me to, you know, just be in front of people and do what I love to do.
Right. And I think sometimes when like you say you're a shy person, some people think that they're like bound to that for the rest of their life.
Oh yeah. And I did used to think that, and you know, I'm still shy, but I'm not nearly as shy as I was before.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like certain people who know me, like, they still know me as, like, the quieter one. But I think I've grown a lot from how I used to be. Like, these people did not know how I was in middle school or high school. Like, I was literally so quiet. But DJing just, like, I don't know, it pushes me to be outside my shell more and more.
Yeah, and you also have to surround yourself with people and condition yourself to like people that are gonna allow you to grow.
Yeah.
And not continue to see you as like that shy person, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're supposed to stay ahead of like all of the trends and all the artists. So who are some people or projects or something that we should be like keeping an ear for?
Like new artists.
Yeah. Or even just like people that you feel like you like.
Anisha.
Okay.
Anisha, you know who that is?
I don't.
She has that song Back Outside with Lotto. You know who Caribou is?
I know Caribou, yeah.
She's like, they're both like female rappers that like have like that similar
The like
realm of like the chill rap. I don't know what they call it.
I know what you mean. It's like a certain flow.
You probably heard some of her songs before. But I literally love her. Like she's been on repeat so much recently.
Anisha, okay.
Anisha. Or Anisha, I don't know how they say it. But
Also, she's a rapper?
yeah, she's a rapper. She actually was just at Rose Bar yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Female rap is going crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I know when we were growing up, people, you know, Nicki Minaj, if you're watching this, she might be upset. But
I'm not going to say anything because she might be watching.
It was only Nicki. I love Nicki. I don't know why it was. I'm not going to put my 2 cents into why it was just Nicki, but I felt like it was just Nicki.
Yeah.
Now I feel like the women have more real estate in rap than men right now.
So much, like so many women.
It's crazy. And they're good.
Like Freaky T by Tia Kareen. That is my song. I
don't know that one, but I will listen to it.
That?
No,
Okay,
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
love that song so much, and I love playing that in my set. You know, people talk about Ice Spice, but I literally love playing Deli so much.
I do.
Set.
You know, I have to love Ice Spice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Some other female rappers.
Did you know? Wait, I have to bring this up. Did you know?
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
You know, Riot went to our school.
Yeah. I feel like that's so crazy because my friend told me about that. Like, I think it was this past summer, and they said, I forgot what his real name was, but they said his name. I was like, oh, I don't know who that is.
His dad is a DJ.
Yeah, and then they showed me a picture of him. I was like, wait, he looks familiar. Like I remember seeing him in the hallways. But
Yes, I think he was a year above me.
yeah.
I what's his name? Riot.
I literally love that though. Like
Yeah, that's so funny.
AKA Hall of Fame.
Ephraim?
I don't recognize that name.
I don't know. I never knew his name. I always remember seeing him around. I was like,
I remember his
okay, he's a cool
face.
kid. Like,
Yeah, but that's crazy.
it is crazy.
Literally crazy.
We might be next up. You never know. Okay, what advice do you have for girls wanting to get into DJing? Like, what's the first thing that you should buy if you want to pursue a career as a DJ?
So of course you want a board. My board is a Pioneer TDJ Rev 1. That's a very cheap board, but there's other cheap boards that you can also buy. And you want a pair of headphones, and then you want a small, pair of speakers. You don't need anything crazy. And you just need your music library. Depends what software you use, but you just need hours to practice at home. Literally just do it. Don't be scared. I've been putting this off for years because I was scared. So literally just do it. But just practice for hours and hours. And I know that sounds so vague, like, because people have asked me before, and I was just like, oh, I just practiced a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that it sounds like I'm like keeping something out, but that's literally like what I did. I practiced and YouTube.
I was gonna say YouTube.
YouTube. It's like, I feel like YouTube is underrated. Like literally, I didn't use YouTube for everything, but like general ideas and DJing, like YouTube. Like, oh, what does that button do?
Right.
Just go to YouTube or just Google it. Like,
I think honestly, let me just keep it. I don't want to keep it too real, but I think I've learned more on YouTube than I have in university. That's really deep. I'm not gonna say that. That's just for what I do because we're TV and film majors, so it will almost be impossible for us to learn everything that we need in the classroom. But YouTube is like
YouTube
up there.
is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it is. It is
literally
amazing.
Shows you how to do so much. So.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually so sad that we're coming to the end.
Oh my gosh, me too. I love this
can we
so
actually all hang out? Like,
yes.
we should hang out. If we want to if you have like a gig coming up, let us know. Like, we want to come out, and we're gonna find out about you DJing at the basketball games.
Oh,
like, we would love that because we need some new energy. My last question is, how many times do you think you've played Dreams and Nightmares?
Oh, I actually never really played Dreams and Nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's literally like, I can only think of like, I can count on my hands the amount. I can only remember one party that I played Dreams and Nightmares. It was like a UMD darty, but like, there's probably been other times, but I usually don't play Dreams and Nightmares.
Why? That's just not your vibe?
I feel like now it's kind of like, it's not crazy, but it's just like there's so many popular songs. Dreams and Nightmares is just like,
I feel like that's like well, it probably goes across for all HBCs. I feel like that's Howard's song though.
Yeah, but I don't really play it.
That's funny.
Like a song I always play Strike. I always play Strike.
I like that song,
because I love how it mixes into other songs. So I always play Strike. I always play I Don't Like by Chief Keef.
Oh, yeah.
I love the energy in that song. It's just amazing. I always play Bees in the Trap by Nicki Minaj.
You know what? I'm always disappointed when I go to a party and they don't play Itty Bitty Piggy.
I actually don't usually play Itty Bitty Piggy.
That you
I will
should-
keep that in mind.
Yeah, I love that song.
I will
like
keep
that.
that in mind. Yeah. But yeah, I play songs that like my favorite songs to play are the ones that like I love mixing other songs into. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, those are the songs I can think of off the top of my head that are like in every set. I always play those songs. Sorry.
No, it's it's your world, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was so great. I'm so happy. We're so grateful. Thank you. And we're going to see you guys on the next episode, so stay tuned. Thank you, Dream. That was so fun.
How was the answer?
You were really good.